I'm looking through you. Where did you go?
Hi, today we're going to work on Dandasana. Dandasana is a very simple seated pose. It looks like this. That's it, that's the pose. Why are we working on it? Well, the simplest poses often are the most challenging. One, people aren't sure what they're supposed to do when they get there. But two, a lot of people can't get there. We live in a culture where people sit over a desk, driving a car, they're just rounded over. So a lot of people come to Dandasana and they can't get their pelvis upright. So they're back behind their sit bones, their shoulders are stuck, and they're thinking that they have to get forward. Really, they have to get up, but there's no way to do it from here. So how do we help this person who can't sit before we even get to the work? Well, one thing is we can lift them up higher. And you can do that by sitting up on a couple blankets. Pretty simple. And just doing that lifts me up so that my shoulders get above my hips. If it didn't, if I was still back here, then I might just fold the blankets higher until I come to however high I need to be to sit easily. Now this is too high for me, but it is very comfortable. And so today, I'm working on one blanket, and I think I'm working on one blanket unfolded a little more than that. Notice I'm at the wall. By working at the wall, you can find some of these actions in the legs easier. When you've got them, then you can take this out into the middle of the room without needing that. Problem with my wall, I have this ledge. So if you have a wall without a ledge, use it. In the meantime, I want to focus mostly on my heels and making sure my heels are on the wall, not my toes, heels. So now we've figured out a couple ways we can get somebody upright. There's two more that I didn't mention yet. If you're back this way and you don't have a bunch of blankets handy, what if you just put your hands on the floor behind you and extend your spine at the angle that your pelvis is? The point of the pose is to have some extension in the spine. What if your extension is here? Great, that works. The other possibility is to get rid of the blankets altogether and lay down in what we call supine mountain in Eischens Yoga. You would still have your heels on the wall, but now you don't have to worry about trying to get your pelvis upright. So we've figured out how we're going to work here. I'm going to work on one blanket, not very high today. Now we come to the actual pose. A lot of people think the point is to really lock those knees down and get the heels off the floor. So they sit here and they're pushing the knees down, hyperextending them, really straining the back of the knee. The heels are off the floor. Quadriceps are somewhat engaged. Not much going on here. Not much going on here. And that's it. Pose done. Ta-da! We're actually going to completely reverse that. I want you to get the backs of your heels on the ground. Bottom of the heels on the wall. And then we're going to think of lifting the shins into the front of the leg. Pressing the thigh bone toward the floor into the back of the leg. So we have down through the heel, up through the shin, down through the thigh, and then I can use my hands for support next to me to create even more lift through the spine. This doesn't look like much, but my legs are so engaged right now. I can feel my calf muscles, I can feel my inner thighs, I can feel my hamstrings. Everything's working. Now there's a couple ways to create this idea of lift in the shins if that seems sort of vague. One is to work with a partner and to have your partner put their hands fairly low on your shin near the ankle and press straight down. I don't have a partner today, so this is my other partner. It's a sandbag. It weighs about 10 pounds. I place it where I wanted to have my partner's hands, down low on my shins. And now I can lift up into that weight and press my thighs down and really engage my legs more fully. For someone who's more flexible, you can work in a version of Padattonasana, which is a forward fold from this. And if you're more flexible, you can place your own hands on your shins and press up into your hands while your arms are pressing down into your shins. And again, through the heels into the wall, back of the heels into the floor, shins are lifting, thighs are pressing into the ground. That's it. That's the pose. So why do we need to work on Dandasana? It doesn't look like much, but it's really, really important. It is the basis of all these seated poses. If you come to a wide-angled seated pose, you need to press the heels down, and the shins lift, and the thighs press down. If you're working in Janu Shirshasana, this supporting leg, heel down, shin forward, thigh back, all these actions are present. They're what will enable you to tip forward. It's the same as when you do these standing forward folds. If you lock the knees back, you trap the pelvis. So for anyone who's having trouble sitting, finding the actions in the legs might help them sit up more. For people who are working into forward folds and can't bend very far, finding the actions in the legs will release the pelvis further over. There are other reasons to do this therapeutically. Often if you're working with weight on the shins with a partner or a sandbag, then what happens with the weight is you might get relief in the lower back if you have low back pain. If you're somebody whose knees lock back really far, that'll start to unlock, which will set your whole skeleton up better when those knees aren't locked back. It also can be really beneficial for anyone with plantar fasciitis. Extending those heels down into the ground, working the shins and thighs, and reaching the legs will engage all the muscles that run from the bottom of the foot up around the ankle into the calf, past the knee and up to the hip. As those muscles start to engage more efficiently, then you'll start to get relief and length in the bottom of the feet. So this pose is fundamental to the seated poses, and it's also beneficial in a therapeutic manner as well. Start playing in Dandasana. See what you can do. For those of you who are discovering that you like this work and you'd like to go deeper into Eischens Yoga, find a teacher near you. Go to EischensYoga.com and see if there are any Eischens Yoga teachers in your area. If you find yourself in the Twin Cities, come take my classes and workshops, or contact me for a private individual session. If you really like this stuff, you can become an Eischens Yoga geek. Soon, we're going to have a t-shirt for that.